same day, November 2nd, 2023. There's those onions. Oh, they're so good. You don't even know how good they are. So anyway, I am putting them into quart-sized jars, and I'm going to vacuum seal them. And then this way, they stay fresh for a long time. And then I am going to take some of these, and I think these are, I don't know what that is. That might be cauliflower. Anyway, I've got the green onions. I'm going to mix them two up, and then I'm going to rejar them, and that's when I'm going to sprinkle on noodles or whatever I want, salad or whatever. So, good. I'm going to vacuum seal these peanuts. These ones right here. These are just unsalted roasted. They got a little bit of soy oil on it. I don't like that when these companies do that. They do it to raisins too, but they basically do it as a preservative, right? Anyway, when I buy peanuts in this kind of container, this is vacuum sealed. Andre and I, we already ate them. So I just put unsalted in there, and I'm going to use that for cooking or whatever, right? And those ones are going into food storage. So over the course of the next month or two, I'll add on, right? And then now I'm going to vacuum seal these. I'm not going to put oxygen absorbers, although people have. I'm not going to put decadents in them, although I've seen people do that. They put the decadent in and the oxygen absorber. But in this situation, buying it from the grocery store, this way, this was just vacuum sealed. So I am just choosing to vacuum seal. And then, of course, I'll put them probably in my bedroom where it's really cool. Make sure they're covered up, and they should probably be able to sit like that for a year or two anyway, if not longer. Right? Not that I want to leave them there for 3 years, but sometimes stuff like that happens. Right? So I wouldn't mind a case of peanuts anyway, either or. But these, eating fast, Andre and I, so I don't know. These are more for like, if you make chicken or something and you throw a few peanuts in, right? You cook it with your chicken, or chop them up and sprinkle it on, I don't know, maybe cookies or something, or you could put it in your salad or put it on rice, mix it in with your beans. I don't know. We're buying them this way with them seasoned and salted. Well, you're just putting them in your hand and putting them in your mouth. So I'm thinking more along the lines for cooking, just as like a comfort food. And I also have peanut butter, right? So, but we don't eat a lot of peanut butter. But I'm sure once all this is all cleared out, right, then we'll be making peanut butter cookies. I'm charring up these onions. I'm standing here and I'm thinking, right? This is what I'm thinking. I'm like, are you an idiot? Right. Why are you using perfectly good mason jars, brand new out of the box, lids and all, for red onions, dehydrated? As if you got the room for them. It's not that I don't want them. It's just, where am I going to put them now that I've got them all nicely jarred up? Well, I'm getting them all nicely jarred up. And I'm like, you have to tap it down, right? I'm like, yeah, but there's a big part of you that is, I don't want to say convinced, but it's I'm kind of convinced that we're going to go into a war economy, people. So I'm like, okay, so now we know why I'm doing this, right? And I'm like, yeah, but people think you're nuts. My son the other day, when we were taking stuff downstairs, because, I'm still finishing up the food prep, right? He getting mad. He's just egging it on, right? I'm trying not to take the bait. Just stay focused. You're just gambling, Mom. You're gambling. Why you do that? You're just gambling. You don't know for sure if it's going to happen. That's gambling. And I'm like, well, you're right. I am gambling. And then I went on to explain to him, how old are you? He's, I think he's 32 now, right? I said, okay. And like, you haven't experienced a drop of income in the house. Not once, not twice, 3 times in your 32 years of life. I have, people. That's the first thing, right? I reminded him of that. How easy it is to wake up one day and either you're being cut off of social assistance in the middle of winter with 5 dependent children, drop of income in the house, right? When they medically kidnapped Uncle John, drop of income in the house. When my kids started dying, drop of income in the house. And I reminded my son, anything could happen. I can go, there will be a drop in the income in the house. That's when my son will appreciate that. Right now, I'm just gambling. But I'm like, this is what I mean by people think you're nuts. And then I'm like, but a lot of people, I don't think, realize that we're going to go into a war economy. Yeah, I think so. And I don't think they understand fully what that means. Not that I understand, because I don't, and if I do, it's only because of a past life. It's kind of like bricklaying outside with a bunch of busted up foundation, right? Like the foundation, you have cement foundation of a house or a driveway or whatever, and you get slabs come in different sizes and shapes, and then you lay everything out nice in between the sand and the rocks, and so it becomes a solid foundation. You can walk on it, right? As if I knew how to do that until I actually got into this yard and started doing it, because that's at some point I had done that in the past in a different life. So therefore, because of that, and I do believe that, people, because some of the things I've done over the years has been just kind of like, no big deal. I just wish I was a man, because if I would be a man, it would be faster, and a man is stronger, and but either or, doesn't matter. It's beautiful when it's all cleared off and looking good out there, which I'm going to work on next year, assuming I can see. Right? But I'm like, as I'm standing here doing this, I'm like, why are you doing this? Putting him in mason jars of all things. And I'm like, oh, I got one of those brown wine jugs. They're big. They're like 1 gallon size, right? They're back in the day, old school stuff. Right? This kind of glass. Right? I'm pretty sure I got one in my bedroom. I don't bring it. I don't put it here. I'll do my little video, right? You'll see it. Don't ask me what's inside of it. It could be red onions from probably 2011, 2012, because that's really when I hunkered down. Or it could be shredded carrots. And because it's been in that container, sealed up all these years, I can almost guarantee you it's still edible. So anyway, I'm going to bring it out. I'm not going to open it up right now because I'm not cooking. But when I start cooking, for sure, we'll open it up and see what's inside. And we'll test it out, right? But in the meantime, I got fresh. Right? And because it's so nice, oh my God, you don't even know how... Oh, it's just so flavorful, right? And I love it. Anyway. It's going to be good. I want to look after it, right? I could put it in a 1-gallon jar and put it away. I did that with the broccoli, and I still have more broccoli to put away. But I think for this, I mean, I'm pretty sure once Andre gets into it, oh, it'll be gone. Right? I don't have room for a big clunky jar out here for this, but for something like this, we'll see how long it goes, like, to go through it, right? Because it's to sprinkle on food, whatever that food is. And Andre likes hot things, so. But I'm like, you're going into a war economy, so. Even though you think that maybe you might be foolish by using mason jars, well, you have to look at it like this with the mason jar in terms of, I've always said, people, and I've been saying it for years, we're going to go into a jar shortage. You watch and see. We're not there yet, but if we go into a war economy, we'll be there. Oh, yeah. So, this is twofold for me. I got these beautiful onions. And I got mason jars with brand new lids. To which, even if I was to, I'm going to use them. I'm using them with these jars. I don't got time to be running around looking for old lids. But if worst came to worst, I can always recan. Can in a pressure canner or in a water bath these lids after I use the jar, if it should go in that direction where you know, we're going into an actual war economy. Because if we go into a war economy, then we'll be there for quite a few years. Oh yeah, I think so. I think that whatever these politicians are trying to do, I don't know, people. It's like my Uncle Nick said. There's going to come a time where human beings, we're going to go back to the horse and buggy. Yeah. And I think for a lot of us, that's what's going to end up happening here because of the war economy. Yeah. It will be out of necessity. And you know, yeah. Because whatever we're starting to go into, we're just going into it. We're going to be there for a while. We're talking years. And that's what makes the war economy. It's not just a 1 year quickie. It's just not a quickie, right? They're going to drag it out. Because they got multiple reasons as to why they want to drag it out. Boy, I just can't seem to get this headspace right. I take out a little bit, I put a little bit in, and then it's too high. Then I take out a little more, and then it's too low. Now I'm adding a little more. Jeez. Right. And I'm going to vacuum seal these. And then leave one jar out. And as one jar goes, I have the jar for something else. And in a war economy, oh boy, anybody would like to have that does this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter, man or woman. A couple, a husband and a wife, yeah. They're like, yippity-yay, we got jars. Yeah. So, I say it's a pretty good gamble, considering what's going on in the world. Yeah, it's getting crazy out there, people. Quite a few people in the United States are getting a little nervous with all these military age young men flooding the border in the thousands every day with a bad attitude, out to get wetty. I'm just saying. Oh, sorry, the Americans. No race specific. Yeah, okay. I believe that like I got a fucking hole in my head, okay? Canada has the same problem, people. Yeah, don't underestimate the problem. Just saying. It's just different methods to these individuals. I don't know. People talking about civil war and everything going on pretty soon. Which will just hasten the war economy. That's all that's going to do. Just speed it up. It's very boring what I do. Very time consuming too. And I'm just like so tired with it. And barely see anymore. It's like, oh, you don't even know how upset I am about that. Just fake the freaking funk. Doctor wants to do the rotor-rooter on the left eye now. Yeah. Because the pressure's always high on it, even with the drops. I told him, well, I'm not changing the cataract, that's for sure. But I don't think it's going to make any difference anyway. I asked him if he thought that maybe if I had a benign tumor or something going on, right? Oh no, it's glaucoma, and I'm like, yeah, I understand what a glaucoma is all about. I'm just asking, right? Like, And then I get mad at my family doctor for being a dickhead. A Ukrainian one at that. If I could have seen him after the new year, I would have gotten a referral. He told me to go get a lawyer to sue him for not giving me my daughter's medical files. That was my Christmas present from him. I haven't been back since, and that was in December of 2020. And he's still my family doctor, because you can't go out and just go get another family doctor. It's not that easy. They don't want to have their little meet and greets. I did that once with Uncle John. Then the dude said he didn't want to be my doctor. Okay. Then you shouldn't get charged for the appointment. That's what I told him. He only wanted Uncle John because he thought he could start doing back surgery on John. That was Joan's doctor. Anyway, it's all water under the bridge. So far I got 4 of these jars. Oh, this is so good. You don't even know. I'm not going to have, well, I don't know. There's other things I have to jar up. Don't forget to just stock up on chocolate. This is just top off. Okay, so now it's November 4th of 2023. I'm going to read this post, there's more than one, that I wrote, because honestly, I don't think YouTube's going to let them stay up. Because that's how fucking shady YouTube is. Now here's the dude here that I'm really glad got the help that he needed for his drug addiction. What this is a channel called Soft White Underbelly. Anyway, it's some guy that interviews all these people in California, and okay, and all kinds of different people with all kinds of different issues, right? I've watched where he was even interviewing dirty cops on the take. Right, but of course in British Columbia, Canada, we don't got dirty cops. Everybody's a fucking Puritan out here, right? Yeah, okay. Anyway, I was listening to him, and I never post, and I've watched lots of these videos from different walks of life with their interviews telling their stories. Anyway, I decided to post on this one because it just, you know, I don't know, he just seemed genuine. So I'm going to read this because honestly, like I said, you know, YouTube's so shady. Anything to keep with the status quo, prop up illegal activity, human trafficking, you know, illegal organ harvesting on the down low, you know, right? Just the whole 9 yards. So, in the event that YouTube deletes these, well, at least it will be up on my channel. Because nothing I can't stand more is writing this stuff out, hoping if I can just reach that one person that can reach another person and another person so that we can turn the tide around. You know, but of course, again, like I said, YouTube likes to stay with the status quo. But besides that point, so anyway, this is what I had to say. I am glad this man had actual community support to surpass his addictions, and I appreciate his honesty regarding fentanyl, because where I live in British Columbia, Canada, murder by fentanyl is real, and so is illegal organ harvesting that results from murder. Okay? I've lost 2 daughters to fentanyl, where ShaMay was murdered in her home by her ex-boyfriend, and cops let him walk and covered up her murder. While Sierra, my other daughter, who was an addict for years but never had the community support that she really needed, was lured to her death with cops covering up her murder. So that both daughters, right? I got a lot of videos on this, people. Okay? Had their bodies pillaged of their organs and other body parts because it props up the underground economy. Fentanyl for white-collar criminals and the alike. Fentanyl is just a smokescreen for murder to be covered up as cops and other likewise professionals traffic body parts. I stand my ground, people. And then as I'm listening to the video, you know, I'm provoked to say something more, right? So, because he was talking about, like, in the last 2 weeks, 9 people died because of fentanyl. And he's like, he's not he's not talking about murder by fentanyl, because, you know, everybody's on that bandwagon to blame the victim. They should have known better. But besides that point, I already know the old okie dokie, so I wrote, we are past 2,400 documented people dying each year from fentanyl in the province of British Columbia, Canada, while cops and their employers, aka the province of British Columbia, Canada, Premier David Eby, right, the Attorney General and Solicitor, Public Safety Solicitor Office, right, you know, those guys, right, and other public union sector workers, like the hospital staff, coroner, and those kind of people, right, the ones that actually put their fingers on the bodies and move them around town and, you know, shuffle the cards and, you know, right, you know, blame the victims. Okay, let's read that again without me interrupting it. We are past 2,400 documented people dying each year from fentanyl in the province of British Columbia, Canada, while cops and their employers and other public union sector workers blame the victims via they were either suicidal or they killed themselves by accident. Hogwash. My daughters were murdered, and cops facilitated it because it's a racket to launder money through the housing market, etc. Okay? And because he's kind of like tippy-toeing around the subject, well, I have 9 people that I've known in the last 2 weeks die of fentanyl. You know, I don't quite understand why they would be putting a downer into cocaine or blah, you know, making excuses, but this is what I got to say. He knows people are being hot-capped, being hot-shot, or murdered by fentanyl. All 3 mean the same thing. He knows it. Okay? The guy's got game. He knows it. This man knows it, but is afraid to go against the grain and really tell what is going on. And then, of course, I have to say a bit more because, you know, hold people to account. They use the cocaine. Because I've been there, done that already, people. They used the cocaine as the excuse to accuse ShaMay of being a closet drug addict, even though she was, right, so that they could avoid holding Julian to account for murdering her and putting him in jail, because they knew that if they would have done that, her body would have went to the Abbotsford Hospital for a forensic autopsy, and evidence would have been taken from her organs, because, you know, you go into a forensic autopsy and they autopsy a proportion of every organ, right? And that makes it harder for them to harvest them. They can still harvest some things, but some things are destroyed once they start cutting into them for samples, for evidence, or whatever, right? So, you know, they're not going to do that. No. They're just going to go in there and take them out. And then they're going to sell them on the black market. Okay. So they use the cocaine as the excuse to accuse the victim of being an addict first. That's right. Then to hide the fact that the individual was murdered with the fentanyl, whether directly, like ShaMay was directly murdered. Even Sierra, you can say, right? Sierra a little harder because she was an addict. ShaMay was not an addict. 2 different scenarios, either or. Cops were there, cops covered it up. Okay. Then, to hide let's read this again. They used the cocaine as the excuse to accuse the victim of being an addict first, then to hide the fact that the individual was murdered, whether directly, hot-capped, or indirectly, drugs being laced and then normalized, as professionals all accused the victims of doing it to themselves. It's psychological warfare, soft kill method, as the process of immigration replacement removes Americans, Canadians. So, why do you think out of a classroom of 18 little kindergartners, age 5 years old, maybe even 20 in the classroom, people, you only had one little white girl and one little black boy? And then little Alea May, who you would consider to be black, namely with a little bit of white in her, while the rest of those kids, 17 of them, were all brown. As they're being taught at home to not socialize.
Year to year, creating more problems on top of the problems I was running from. You know, and it's crazy because once I finally got clean and I came to that realization, I thought, wow, what a pussy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm running from something, you know, at the age of 40 that took place when I was 5. It sounds pathetic to me now that I'm on the other side of it. And I don't know, it's a hard realization for people to come to. It really is. I know. Because I talk to some of these younger cats, man, and I'm like, you know, this shit is going to kill you. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. You know, if you do fentanyl, you will die. It's, you know, it's not like shit was back in the day. You know, when somebody got high and fell on the floor back in the day, we would laugh because we knew they'd get back up. They seldomly didn't rise to their feet. But now, it's all she wrote. You know? The thing is, I could tell these kids that are blue in the face, the shit's gonna kill you. You don't give a fuck. They don't even seem to, it doesn't faze them.
It's because it's normalized, people. Psychological warfare.
But I've been there, so I understand it. I don't know. It's a confusing situation, man. It really is. But I know of 9 people that I was close to that have passed away in like the past 3-4 weeks. 9. And, you know, that's, you know, I had my shop, I kind of teamed up with another addict who was making watches. And I had him do some custom watches for me with my logo on the face. Found out, you know, by opening Facebook that he was gone. Just so many people you end up getting close to, and like that, they're gone. Gotta cut my hair, gone. You know, the list just, it goes on and on and on. It's really just, it's got its fucking claws in everybody. You know, and they're putting it in everything, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it does, though, make sense. You see, this is what I'm saying. He's not being honest. He fucking knows people are being hot-capped, murdered by fentanyl, getting a hot shot. He knows it. It makes a lot of sense. If you want to get rid of the Americans, you know, you just lace everything. You want to get rid of the fucking Canadians, just lace everything. But sooner or later, it's going to, what is in the dark, people, will come out into the light. Go to the fucking kindergarten rooms and go start looking around and see what's in the light now. See what's in the light. Okay? Like, seriously. What's in the dark will come out in the light.
Well, fentanyl's a downer. Why would you put it in cocaine?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you? Oh, because the cops can say, well, the person was suicidal. They should have known better. Yeah, they did it to themselves. It was an accident. But that's okay because, you know, it's just trash, right? Just bury and forget, and we're busy. We got another 9 more to go, right? And that's today. Right? That's not next week. We got another 10 more coming in next week. You know how much fucking money they're making off of this shit? They're running the shacks, people. Okay? They're not all who you think they are, people. They're in bed with fucking organized religion, people. Something has altered some of them with their fucking DNA, or and they're bringing in their robocots, dress them up like police officers, respectable police officers. Yeah, okay. They can't even keep the public safe because they don't want to.
So am I.
Because they're making... Who is he exactly? He doesn't want to rock the boat, but he knows.
Obviously, not that kind of businessman, because I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. He's not that kind of businessman. He's not the one running millions and millions and millions of fucking immigrants across the border. Doesn't matter what border. It doesn't matter if it's going into the United States or if it's coming into fucking Canada. Each country has the UN soldiers implanted, ready for the call. Okay? They just do it in different ways, these politicians. All right? Like I said, go to the schools and look at the kindergarten classes, and then go on from the next grade to the next grade to the next grade, and show me where the Americans are. Show me where the Canadians are. Oh, unless, of course, maybe you're a Catholic, an Eleanor Gilding. You know, somebody that's against, what, Christians? Conservatives? Patriots? Right? I'm just... Oh, boy.
Tell me about tattooing. Why is tattooing so popular now?
Well,
He knows.
when I got into